Hello guys, for today we have grammar lesson 6, main verbs and helping verbs. Here we have the definition and we have that helping verbs are verbs that help the main verb in a sentence. By extending its meaning, they can also add detail to how time is conveyed in a sentence. Helping verbs come before the main verb. The main verb is the most important word in a sentence. So we have some important things to highlight in here. First is that the helping verb uh, help the main verb. That's one thing. The other one is that the helping verb gives information about the time of the sentence. It can be present, past, or future. And also that the helping verb, they always come before the main verb. That's important to remember. We have here helping verbs. Helping verb work together with the main verb as we mentioned before. So we have here a sentence. She is leaving. That is one sentence. And here we can identify two different verbs. Is, that is a form of the verb to be, and the verb in progressive living, of live. So which of both is the most important? So we know that live in this case is the most important word or verb. So the other one is becomes the helping verb. In the other case, I have finished my work. Again, we have two verbs, have and finished. We go to the next one. This is kind of an exercise. It would be nice if you stop the video for a moment and you try to identify the helping verbs in your notebook. Maybe just writing in each of them which one is the helping verb and the main verb, and then you continue with the video so you can see if you have the correct results of each of them. So we can see here, she must see that movie, which are the two verbs, must and see. And in this case, the main verb is see, and must becomes the helping verb. In this case, does he like that book? Does and like are the two verbs that we have. Like, of course, is the most important verb, and thus becomes the helping verb. In this case, is written if you see as a question. That's why it's written in capital and at the beginning of the sentence. He might eat lunch here. Might eat. So eat is the most important verb, and might is the helping verb in this case. She must have tried to be on time. And the last one, she might have studied late last night. So in this case, she must have tried to be on time. We have that tried, of course, is the main verb, and must. So now again, you can stop the video and you can go work on your practice book page 68. So it will be easier for you to identify the main verbs and helping verbs right now. Now we move to something a little bit different. It's always related to verbs, but in this case we're going to identify action verbs. And we say that an action verb tells what a person or things does in the present, right? Did in the past or will do in the future. Another detail, action verbs are also called dynamic verbs. Why do you think they're called dynamic? Think for a moment. Yes, they're called dynamic because they express an action, whether it's physical or mental. Like if someone is thinking, we cannot see the person, what is happening in the mind of that person, but we can see that something is happening, right? So that's why it says that can be physical or mental. We have some examples here: ice skate, run, do karate, do gymnastics. Those are examples of actions. So look, here we have another example. It can be like a daily routine. Brush my teeth, sleep, study, read, go to home, have breakfast, play, get up, cut my hair, wash my face, go to sleep or have lunch. All of them, if you can see, are action verbs. They show action. Even study, that you just someone with a book that is sit in front of a book, but that person, of course, is doing an action. So this is an easy topic. You have time to go to work on your practice book on page 67, and of course you have to identify your uh, action verbs in those exercises you have in that page. Now we have another kind of verbs. These are linking verbs. I don't know if you know what's the meaning of link. When we talk about, for example, in computer, you talk about a link. Miss Lambourse tells you, guys, copy the link and place it in this side or something like that. Link is join, right? To join something. So that's the way how linking verbs are useful. A linking verb tells what someone or something is, or what someone or something is like. This is the way we use linking verbs here. Most linking verbs are forms of the verb be. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them are forms of the verb be. Which are the forms of the verb be? Yes, those are is, are, or am. In past tense, was or were. So most of them are forms of the verb be. They do not show action and link the subject to a noun. That's what I told you. They link two things. They join them together. So they link the subject to a noun or to an adjective. And they do not show action. These are different from action verbs because these do not show action. Look at this. We have an example. He is a monster. He is a monster. So the subject is he. The linking verb is. In this case, if you see, is a form of the verb to be is that is used with the pronoun he. And a monster, that is the complement. Then we have another example. In this case, we have he looks stunning. He looks stunning. So we can see that in this case we don't have a form of the verb to be, right? We don't have a form of the verb be. We have a verb that is describing. He looks stunning. So the verb describes how he looks, right? Or how is he or her. So after this, again, stop the video for a moment and go to work to practice book page 69. On the exercise on page 69, on the exercises, you have to underline the linking verb in each sentence. Remember, most of them are forms of the verb be, but not all of them. Yes? So let's try to find them out. And then we continue with this presentation. Okay, now we see here that we have a complete sentences. We're going to talk about complete sentences, and for us this is going to be kind of a review because we already discussed this in class and I hope you remember. But if not, we're going to discuss anyway. A complete sentence expresses a complete thought. So we have something written that doesn't have a complete thought. That cannot be a complete sentence. That becomes a fragment. Remember, fragment and complete sentences. To change a fragment into a complete sentence, identify what information is missing. That's the very first step we have to do, to identify what are we missing. If you remember last year in third grade, we have an exercise that says who is missing, if in that case is the subject is missing, or what happened is missing. So it means that the action was missing in that case. So we have our example here, sentence, a complete thought, who or what. Look at this one. Begin with a capital letter is another thing that we have to remember. would always begin with a capital letter in sentence and then end with a punctuation. Can be period, an exclamation mark, or a question mark. Remember that we have different kind of sentences and each of them have a different end mark. So here we have some examples. If you want to use your notebook, you can copy them and try to solve them to see if you're understanding this part of the class. Here we have the first example. At the meeting, fragment. That's a fragment. Why? Because it's missing something. At the meeting, so what happened at the meeting? That's what we're missing. What happened? Then number two, the little girl. Can you tell me what is it missing here? So we're missing here what happened with the little girl. We just have the subject, but we're missing the predicate. So that's a fragment. Number three, we saw the dog. We saw the dog. Is that a fragment or is that a sentence? Yes, that is a sentence because we can be the subject, saw the dog can be the predicate. So that is a sentence. Then number four, the hamster and its wheel. We have the subject, but we're missing the predicate. So that means that that is a fragment too. Today we're going to eat ham sandwiches. What do you think? Fragment or sentence? Yes, that's a complete sentence because we have all the information. We have the subject and we have the predicate. Let's watch television. Yes, that is a sentence. Let's watch television. That is a kind of a command, right? Number seven, magazines on the shelf. That is the subject, of course, but where is the predicate? We don't know what happened with those magazines on the shelf. So it's a fragment. Number seven is a fragment. Number eight, I am going to go to the library. Yes, we have the action, the predicate, and we also have the subject. Number nine, that money. Yeah, what happened to that money? So that's the subject. We don't have the predicate. That number nine is a fragment. Number 10, the book is great. The book is the subject. Is great is the predicate. So that is a sentence. So now you have to go to page number 70 in your practice book. Yeah, so there you're going to find some fragments and you have to change those fragments into complete sentences. Of course, remember that the first thing is that you have to identify which is the part of the sentence that is missing, so you know what are you going to add at the end or at the beginning of each of the sentences. Yes, do your job. That was all, guys, for today. I hope you understood everything. If not, remember to send us an email. And of course, next week and on Wednesday, we are going to have a meeting so we can clear any doubt you have. Remember to work on your practice pages and of course keep practicing at home so you understand better this topic. Thank you very much. Keep safe.